Max Cradoff alongside Hector Guerrero. Welcome to the WXP News Show for October 27th. There's a lot going on at this time of year, seeing as how the first quarter comes to an end on November 2nd.
This week's show will get you up to date on all LaSalle sports. We already won 2 PCL titles. And this show will take a look at this week's honor convocation.
But first, let's take a look at the service opportunities at LaSalle.
Sitting down with Senior Ministry and Service Team Leader, Kieran Hogan. I'd like to ask him a few questions about service this year. Expectations for the can drive coming up. I know that's related to the Turkey Bowl.
Oh yeah, I mean, last few years we've been setting some pretty high standards. This year I want to be able, go above and beyond what we've set our goals for originally. I really hope that we get a lot of cans in this year.
And then with the can drive, I know we had the clothing drive recently, like last week. I know there was good turnout for that. I saw tons of clothes right in front of the front office. What are those clothes used for, and how are they used to help others?
Well, so what happens is at the end of last week, we got all the clothes together, and then on Monday, we started to bring them out towards Philly. We just, go hand out the clothes. So it helps people in the wintertime who maybe don't have the means to be able, buy a hat or a scarf or a sweatshirt.
Nice.
So
awesome. Finally, what are some of the service projects that go on every week that a lot of students can get involved in that they may not know about, or some of the projects you're involved in or recommend?
Yeah, definitely. So the first one, obviously, homeless outreach is a big one. Here, I think it's on Tuesdays after school.
It's a good one.
So that's you go out to Philadelphia and you basically serve homeless people dinner. And then there are other ones like Sarnelli House, Visitation BVM.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Karen.
Yeah.
Good luck the rest of the year.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, you too.
As the temperatures begin to feel like fall, the heat is rising on the athletic fields. Our golf and cross-country teams have already won PCL titles this season. With more on the fall sports playoffs outlook, here's this week's Explorers Sports Report.
How's it going, LaSalle? My name is Nick Azarano, here with this week's Sports Report. Soccer defeated St. Joe's Prep in penalty kicks with goals scored by Cole Hamill and Chris Metzler and a save by Brett Werner to win the game. Soccer will play Roman for the PCL Championship this Sunday at Northeast High School. This past Wednesday, the golf team finished in 5th place in the state championship, which is the team's best finish since 2013. Congratulations to the guys on a great season. LaSalle Rugby is looking to defend their 2015 and 2016 state titles as they compete in state championships, which will be held here at LaSalle. The tournament will take place on Flannery Field, Glazier Field, and the Turf Field this Sunday. Games begin at 9 a.m. and will last all day. The water polo team finished second in the conference and will now compete in the PIAA state championships. Football will close out the regular season with their game against Archbishop Wood this Friday at 7 o'clock at William Tennant High School and will begin postseason play on November 3rd. Finally, cross country dominated the competition in the PCL Championship this past Saturday. The team made history as LaSalle earned the top 5 finishes for a perfect 15-point finish for the team. Now we're going to catch up with Coach Bielecki to hear what he has to say about the performance.
All right, what's up, LaSalle? I'm here with Mr. Bielecki. How's it going?
Good, thanks, James.
Good to see it. So congratulations on the PCL win.
Thanks.
Just tell us about the event and how it all came out.
Sure. So the Catholic League Cross Country Championships has 3 races. They have a freshman race, a JV race, and a varsity race. We certainly knew that we were favored in all 3, but kind of team motto for us is, that we can only control what we can control. So our effort, our thoughts, those are the things that we have control over. So we just try to get our guys as well prepared physically and mentally, to go out and perform the best that they can. And our guys did a great job of executing really well. The freshmen, beat St. Joe's Prep, and St. Joe's Prep has a pretty good freshman team this year. So our guys ran really well there, a bunch of PRs. Our JV team ran phenomenal. I think we took 17 of the top 20 spots in the JV race. And then the varsity race, at some point during the year, we did talk about a little bit, this idea that, there's a couple good individuals out there in the Catholic League. How many guys could we put in front of everybody else? Just sort of, to create a real challenge in a year where, maybe team-wise it wasn't going to be quite as tight. The last several years, when we've beaten Cardinal O'Hara for the title, there were really close, hard-fought races. And we knew that element of it wouldn't really be there. So we sort of came up with this idea, maybe we could go 1 through 5. The kid from Monsignor Bonner that finished 6th in the race in AA state cross country last year, he was a medalist. He finished 14th overall. And he was 2nd in the Catholic League Outdoors in the 3200 last spring. One of our guys that graduated, Steve Paul, barely beat him in the 3200. Last year at Outdoor Catholic League Championship. So we knew it was going to be a really big deal for us to, potentially go 1 through 5. And it was super exciting with Brady Cords out kicking him at the end. It was pretty fun.
Historic event, historic season so far. What's next for LaSalle Cross Country?
Sure. So, on Thursday, we have the District 12 Championship at Belmont Plateau, which the top 2 teams qualify for states. So our guys are just going to go out and try to take care of business there. And then the following weekend is the state championship on Saturday, November 4th in Hershey. And, again, we're just going to try to control what we can control. We can't control what any other team does on race day. We're just going to try to have the best race that we can possibly have. Our guys go in, prepared physically, prepared mentally, looking to have fun. We really try to emphasize for our guys, running hard and competing is something that's fun. Our guys work really hard, all year to get in great shape physically. I say all the time, like, this is, one of the things in their life that they're best at. They're really good at running, a little over 5-minute pace for a little over 3 miles. And, we're going to go out and try to do that as best we can and just try to be tough and gritty and run good LaSalle cross country.
Well, thank you, Mr. Bielecki,
Thanks, James,
for joining us at Coach's Corner, and congrats on the PCL, and hopefully the rest of the season is great. So.
Thanks a lot.
On October 17th, 274 honor students were awarded the Scholastic L at the Honors Convocation. In addition to the academic honors of our students, guidance counselors and lacrosse coach Mr. Lackey was awarded a medal for his 25 years of service to LaSalle College High School. This year's keynote speaker was Patrick Cunan, former speechwriter for President Obama, who had some great advice for the students.
The second saying is enter to learn, leave to serve. Clearly you all have the first part down. You wouldn't be here tonight if you didn't. So let's focus on the back half, leaving to serve. The truth is, I fell into public service. I basically got lucky. But as I walked into the West Wing, I often thought about those blue and gold signs here on campus, just with a slight tweak. Enter to serve.
The ceremony concluded with a great speech by Brother James on what it means to be a LaSallian gentleman.
First, there's graciousness. That ability to find the least comfortable person in the room and draw them out, make him feel included, set him up to shine. Second, I think that idea of a LaSalle guy as someone who's comfortable in his own skin. A person who values achievement and success, but at the same time has nothing to prove, who steadfastly avoids arrogance and pretense. Third, I think they look for a man who's understanding, who gets the gentle part of that gentleman Pat was just talking about. That is, he's a person who has ideals and standards for himself and for others, but they're high enough that you know anyone will occasionally fall short of them, and that's not the end of the world. Finally, and most importantly, he's someone who lives Jesus, as we say at least 8 times a day.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of WXP News. Don't forget, the second quarter begins on Monday, November 6th.
And good luck to all the future explorers that are taking the exam on Saturday, October 28th. Don't forget to stay connected with all social media at LaSalle. Have a good day.